The moment I stepped into the living room that morning, the silence hit me like it had every day since David passed. My husband had only been gone 3 months, but each morning I woke up still expecting to hear the sound of him making coffee or humming along to the radio. I sat down on the worn beige sofa and pulled his sweatshirt tighter around me. The emptiness of our home had become unbearable. Then the doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone, and for a moment I hesitated. When I finally opened the door, I found Marcus standing there. Tall, broad-shouldered, and with a kind smile, he looked just like I remembered. He and David had been best friends since college, inseparable. They called each other brothers, and honestly, that's what they were. Marcus was wearing a navy jacket over a white shirt, holding a box of pastries in one hand and a grocery bag in the other. "I figured you hadn't eaten yet," he said gently. "May I come in?" I nodded and stepped aside, motioning for him to enter. It had been a few weeks since I last saw him, at the memorial service. He had flown in from Chicago just for that day, and left quickly after. I knew it was hard for him. David's death had shaken everyone. But the pain Marcus must have carried was its own weight. "I hope it's okay," he said, placing the bag on the kitchen counter. "I wanted to check on you, but I didn't want to intrude." "It's okay," I replied quietly. "Really? I'm glad you're here." He unpacked the groceries and set 2 cups of coffee on the table. "I figure we could talk. Or sit in silence. Whatever you need." His presence filled the hollow space that had lingered since the funeral. We sat on the porch for a while, sipping our drinks, sharing small memories of David. Marcus made me laugh with stories from their college days, things David never told me. Hearing those brought a small warmth to my heart, like a flicker of life where everything had felt numb. Over the next week, Marcus came by more often. Sometimes he'd cook dinner or bring takeout. Sometimes we'd just watch old movies David loved, in total silence. It felt strange at first, but slowly I found myself looking forward to his visits. He didn't treat me like I was fragile. He let me cry when I needed to, but he didn't push me to move on. He just showed up. One rainy Thursday afternoon, I found myself opening up to him more than I expected. I told him how David and I had struggled in his last few months, how his illness had changed him, how the fear of losing him had made me cold, how guilty I felt for being angry at him during the hardest part of our marriage. Marcus didn't interrupt. He just listened. "I hated how helpless I felt," I whispered, the tears spilling now. "And now I hate that he's gone. I don't know how to keep going." Marcus reached over and took my hand. His palm was warm, steady. "You keep going because you have to. But not alone. Not anymore." That night, I slept better than I had in months. By the second month of his visits, our connection grew. We laughed more. I began cooking again. I even got a haircut, a small thing, but it made me feel human again. I'd catch Marcus watching me sometimes, his eyes soft, protective, but never crossing any boundaries. He always respected my space. One Saturday, while we were sorting through David's old books to donate, Marcus pulled out a small photo album I hadn't seen in years. It was from a trip the 3 of us took to Florida. There were pictures of us at the beach, David in the middle, arms around both of us. I looked at Marcus and smiled through the tears. "He loved us both," I said. "He did," Marcus replied. "And he'd want us to take care of each other now." That sentence stayed with me. Weeks passed, and slowly, my life began to take shape again. Marcus helped me fix the sink, repaint the hallway, plant flowers in the backyard. With each passing day, he helped me rebuild the parts of my world that had crumbled. One evening, we were sitting on the back porch watching the sun go down. I turned to him, feeling a mix of gratitude and confusion. "Why are you doing all this for me, Marcus?" He looked at me, and for the first time, I saw the depth of emotion in his eyes. "Because you're important to me. You always have been. But more than that, because he asked me to." "What do you mean?" Marcus hesitated, then reached into his jacket and pulled out a letter. "David gave this to me a few weeks before he passed. Told me to read it only when I was ready." He handed it to me. With trembling fingers, I opened the envelope and unfolded the paper. It was in David's handwriting. If you're reading this, then I'm gone. And if you're reading it, I trust you've been there for her. Marcus, she's going to need someone. And I know you. You're the only person I trust to help her heal. I've seen the way you care about her. I want her to live again, to love again, and I'd be okay if that person was you. Tears blurred my vision. I clutched the letter to my chest, overwhelmed. I didn't want to overstep, Marcus said softly. But I meant every moment I spent here. I did it for him, but I stayed because of you. For the first time in a long time, I let someone hold me. The weeks that followed weren't perfect. Grief doesn't vanish, even with kindness and care. But I wasn't alone anymore. Marcus became part of my routine, part of my healing. We took walks in the park, attended a grief support group together, and slowly learned how to navigate the future without David, but not without love. It was nearly 6 months after that first visit when I finally looked at Marcus one evening and said, "I think I'm ready to live again." He smiled, that same warm, steady smile. "Then, let's live. One step at a time." And we did. Not because we forgot the past, but because we chose to honor it by moving forward. Together.